What's the biggest obstacle you faced in your life so far that you were able to overcome, and how did you do it?
Myself. Because sometimes we can hold ourselves up in life and be in the way. And I learned that by making music and doing music, you have to make sacrifices and investments. Like you can have the talent, but if you don't do something with the talent and put some money behind yourself, you ain't going nowhere. Treadmilling. Yeah.
Now, have you ever signed a record deal before?
Yeah, back when I was 16, I signed a record deal with Ricochet Records. They gave me like 20 grand for a single.
And was that the only record deal you've ever signed in your career so far?
Well, I done had two people reach out to me, but like I said, I do it for God now, so I got a little more sense not to just sign anything.
But when you were in that one deal in particular with Ricochet, was that secular music,
Yeah, I was doing secular music,
but
definitely,
weren't cursing at the time?
but wasn't cursing, nah.
Is that something they saw of value? Was that something that attracted them to you at all by any chance? The fact that you didn't curse, or that really had no bearing at the
My
time?
my talent, but like your grandmother, your mother, your kids, everybody could listen to me without turning it off. Yeah,
Now, why did you sign a deal at that time in your life?
man, I needed the money.
And that was a single deal, so it was a song that you had already had
Yeah,
put out in public and it was gaining momentum, or?
yes, it's a
Okay.
song I already had. It was on the radio and everything. That's how people know about me.
And for those watching this interview, getting to know you for the very first time, what was the name of that song?
Hit the flow, shouted.
And is that song still available publicly?
Negative. Somebody stole our masters. They stole them. They broke in my record label manager car and stole all the masters.
Now, even though that was a single deal and it only lasted for a song, what was that like?
Man, it was nice, man. Having people know you, coming up to you, giving you hugs and things of that nature, man. And being on the radio, that was big back then. Definitely.
Was there thoughts on this record label that offered you the deal that you took, uh, offering you another deal for another song after, or extending what you had going on into something further, contract-wise?
Negative because like that's around the time when I started going to church. And I switched it up. Like I went cold turkey on secular music.
So that's a contract, that's a deal that just expires on its own?
Yeah, it expired on its own.
You have been offered something twice
Yes.
since, and you've shared what your outlook on that is.
Mm-hmm.
Are you opposed to a record deal in the future?
Now if it makes sense, but they gotta offer me and help me with what I'm not willing to do for myself. Like they gotta enhance what I already got going on.
Now, without a deal, are you considered independent at this point?
I'm independent.
And how long have you been independent for?
The,
Rough
la-
estimate.
the last 5 years.
What's that like, being independent?
You get to drop when you want to, man, but you gotta fund everything out your own pocket. So it teaches you how to man up and be a boss as well.
Now, once again, you did have a record deal at one time for a single, for a song. Are you able to compare and contrast a record deal versus being independent, other than what you've already mentioned?
A record deal is like a loan. Like anything that they provide for you, you got to pay it back with interest. But for yourself, you're sacrificing and you're investing. So you can gain sometimes and lose sometimes. But it's good to control your own destiny.
Any other pros and cons, record deal versus independent?
Well, like I said, the only way I would sign if it makes sense. So having a record deal can get you more exposure, get you a bigger audience. But once you get that, like if you're a Kanye West, he ain't got to sign to no label. He already have everything in place. So that's the value of it. Once you get that cult following or that audience, man, stay independent.
Now, anything else you want to mention about a record deal, being independent, or question you weren't asked? People want to know about any of these items.
Being independent, man, it just takes hard work. I always go for what you want, man. Don't give up, because you started out small, but look at you now, DJ Smallz, and I'm here with you, so there's growth.
Anything else on this topic?
Nah, we good.
And for time reference, it's May 2022 now.
Mm-hmm.